So, Kun Sathit, have you seen Kun Thaksin in Laos, in Vientiane? He looks a bit relaxed, but when I saw him on Skype talking to red shirts in Nong Khai, he was a bit subdued, but I think he probably was homesick.
Right.
Just across the river and he couldn't come home.
And the messages that he gave to his supporters were quite confusing, actually. And 1 minute he said that he was ready to come home this year, and then he said that it will depend on the timing, and he cannot tell when the timing is going to be right.
Yeah, I think in less than 24 hours he was saying different things, but then obviously he's not too sure. He wants to come home, definitely.
Definitely.
But I don't think he knows exactly how it is to be done.
Right. Today, he just told the red shirt people again today that he is very likely to come home this year.
Yes.
And he said that if he cannot come home this year, it will be your job, I mean, his supporters, to bring him home, to come and get me home. This is
Carry me home.
carry me home. This is what he said today during one of his biggest reunion with the supporters since he left Thailand in 2008.
But I think basically he is waiting for the bill, amnesty bill,
Yes.
and the constitutional amendment to be completed before he can actually consider the next step of coming home.
Exactly. Everything is really tied to constitutional amendment. Even if the amnesty bill is really tied up with the charter amendment process, you cannot have amnesty law without amending the charter first.
Yes.
That's what we have been talking about. And yesterday, Kun Thaksin was asked by reporters what he meant by cool return to Thailand, and he said that when the timing is right, his return will be cool.
Yeah, in Thai the word is te.
Te.
You know, te means smart, means graceful. You know,
very
means
graceful
cool.
the return.
You know.
And he was asked again when the timing will be right in his opinion.
Yeah.
And he said, let's not talk about this. And then he switched to the issue of tsunami.
Yeah. But I think that clearly he does not know how the bills, the constitutional amendment, will be processed through Parliament. And when he talks about before the end of the year, it means that he's looking into the next few months how the bills are going to be passed by Parliament and implemented. But if he is waiting for the constitutional amendment, it's going to take I'm not sure.
10 months at least.
Yeah, so end of the year is still not quite probable.
It's not possible at all. Even if the government somehow managed to pass the charter amendment bill in this parliamentary session, that would be take another 10 months. And if somehow some accident happened and the government cannot pass the bill in this parliamentary term, it will have to wait until August. And then you have to, from August, you have to need another 10 months from that, which next year.
That's right. That's right. So that's why I think he is not too sure. So he cannot give a public statement that is definite. So he will say, giving hope to the red shirts that I'm coming home, but when, let's not talk about it now. So it is politically sensitive, because if he comes home before the amnesty is granted, before the constitutional amendment is completed, then he runs the risk of being arrested.
Yes.
Surely you will see some people who don't like him to go and report to the police and said, this guy is supposed to be in jail and he's walking free on the streets in Bangkok. So.
And issuing an amnesty law without waiting for the charter amendment also run the risk of that being unconstitutional. So everything is the charter amendment is the final answer. When that is completed, only that can Thaksin come home.
So
gradually.
So that explains the rush that the government, the ruling party, Pheu Thai party, is trying to push through the law or the constitutional amendment in this parliamentary session.
Because after that it will take another 10 months. So that's explain how why the government is such hurry to pass the charter amendment bill.
But I'm sure he's still having a good time in Vientiane, and he's moving to Siem Reap in Cambodia.
Well, yes. it will be the biggest reunion between him and his supporters.
Yes.
Thousands of racial people are expected to be there
Yes.
in Cambodia this weekend. It will be the biggest reunion between him and them since 2008.
Yes. So it will be a lot of celebration, and you will see a lot of pictures and stories from Siem Reap, Cambodia. In Laos, I think the officials are quite nervous, so they're trying to tell the Mauritius, please come, but
Keep it low key.
Keep it low key, please. You know, you don't want any political disturbances here. But in Cambodia, it will be free for all. It would be, you know, letting your hair down, so to say. So Songkran in Siem Reap will become a political chapter in Thai history.